Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing so well. I'm starving actually is what I am. I'm so hungry and I want to make something today that is like not just a quick grab and go, because if I do that it's normally going to be something that is not the most healthy. And so I want something yum, I want something substantial, and that's also going to be quick because I'm hungry right now. So I thought I would give this internet like massive trend a try. If you haven't seen this online, then again, I don't know, what are you guys watching? So I've been seeing this thing everywhere. It looks delicious. It looks so quick. It looks so easy. And I just thought I would give it a try because I've got the things. And yeah, I think today is the day that I'm going to try out this thing. So let's go down to the kitchen to see what we need. So the thing we're making today is called baked feta pasta, and it couldn't look easier to make. It has minimal ingredients, but it looks so tasty, and I'm sure it's one of those things that you can like easily add to or adjust for your own tastes. And I wanted to, but I thought, okay, since this is the first time I'm making it, I'm going to make it exactly the way that I've seen it on all these posts online, just to get the original flavor first, because I want to know what it tastes like. And then later I'm going to tweak it, when I make it again, and add some other things in, and just kind of personalize it, because it's really easy to shift and change and tweak and all of that kind of stuff. So for the basic one, here's what you're going to need. Alrighty, let's talk about these ingredients quickly. I couldn't find a piece of feta that was the size that it seems to be in the videos, so I just got 2 smaller blocks, which I'll be using. And then a lot of the videos show people using those kind of like different colored cocktail tomatoes, and you have the yellow, the orange, the red. And not gonna lie, I love those, but I did want to support a local brand this time, so I found these ones and I'm happy to use them. I've used them before and I think they'll be great. Then there is a little bit of a from recipe to recipe, a little bit of a change here to there. Some don't use any herbs, some do. I decided I was going to use just the tiniest bit of fresh thyme. It can get a little bit overwhelming, so it's going to be really just the tiniest little bit. I also saw people using some crushed chilies, so again, I'm not huge on super spicy food, so I'm just going to use the tiniest amount. Then, of course, my salt and pepper. And then I just want to talk about the pasta, because if you've watched any of my recipes before, you'll know that I tend to veer away from gluten products. So this is my favorite pasta at the moment. I buy it in the spaghetti as well as the fusilli. It is a chickpea pasta. And literally, if I look at the ingredients, the only ingredient, where is it in English, is chickpea flour. That is it. That is the only ingredient. So for me, that's great because it's gluten-free. It's high in fiber. It's high in protein, which is amazing because I think everyone is trying to look for ways to up their protein a little bit. It's plant-based for those of you who follow a plant-based diet. And it'll be low in carbs as well. And as an added benefit, of course, it is delicious. Actually, even if it didn't have all of these other benefits, I would probably buy this anyway, because for me, the flavor of it is so much better than normal pasta. So this is my go-to pasta at the moment, is the chickpea. All right, so I'm just going to put all of this together, and then this is going to go straight into the oven. And I'm not lying when I said I'm starving, so I already have some of this on the stove. I had an open box, so there was about a cup and a half, 2 cups worth of this left over that I just put in a pot of water with a little bit of oil and some salt, and that is boiling away. Now I'm going to put the rest of this into my baking dish with a little bit of olive oil. And that being said, I've never really been keen on using olive oil with like frying or baking, because you know the high temperature is not what you're supposed to have for olive oil, but that is what the recipe calls for. So just this time I'm gonna go with what they say and see how it goes. But just as a side note, please remember that olive oil should not actually be used at a high smoking heat, okay? So I think the next time I make this, I'll probably just use like a regular vegetable oil or whatever. But I want to try it the way that I've seen it, just to get all the flavors that they intended. And then after that, I will put my own spin on it. All right, so this is basically it. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of my thyme. Oh, there's one ingredient that I forgot, which is also super, super important, and that's garlic. So I'm just going to go and grab that real quick. So most people crush their garlic, or they use the already crushed garlic in their recipes. I actually prefer to put my garlic cloves in whole, because once they're roasted, they get so nice and soft and delicious. It's lovely when you're mushing it all together. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw these garlic cloves in whole. I'm not even going to peel the skin off or anything. Just as they are out of the bulb, I'm just going to throw them in. So I'm using what I have left of my garlic, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a tiny one. 5 little cloves of garlic, and obviously of different sizes. So I've got this massive one, and then, you know, like a small one, and this tiny, tiny one. So I think the garlic is to taste. I really love garlic, so I don't mind there being even more than what I put in, but this just happens to be what I have left. So that's just my salt going in. I might add more later if it needs. And then some, always struggle to open this one, some ground black pepper. Again, I love some pepper, so I'm not going to be too shy. All right, and then we're going to add a little drizzle of olive oil on top of all of this, and that's it basically. So I've got my olive oil here. Like I said, I am a bit nervous about this, I'm not going to lie, about olive oil going into such a hot oven, but okay. We'll try it the way they say we're supposed to do it. And that is it. That's it. This dish now goes into the oven, which I've already preheated, until the feta is nicely baked and soft, and the tomatoes you can see are nicely baked through as well, and have cooked and are lovely and released all their juices. And then you're just going to mush all of that together. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, time it so I can let you know how long exactly it took for me. And then we're going to put everything together and enjoy a delicious bowl of pasta. I can hear it sizzling away and it smells so good. All right, this has just come out the oven. It's still boiling hot, but I see that the feta is nice and soft. The tomatoes are soft. Now I'm just going to add the pasta that was ready ages ago that I had cooling. So what I will say is, you know, if you've ever made a cheese and tomato toasted sandwich, you know how hot the tomato gets. So be careful with these tomatoes when you want to like just pierce them with the fork or start squashing them, because once those juices like squirt out, it's gonna be so hot. So now what you want to do is to just mix everything together, get it nicely into a little creamy cheesy tomato sauce, if I can put it that way, and then you're going to add your pasta to that. So I'm just going to finish smushing. So I finished my smushing, and now I'm just going to add my pasta. It's cooled down quite a bit because it really cooked quickly, and I'm just going to add all of that. I wonder if I should add all of it. Well, let's just add all of it. And then I'm going to mix everything together, get those flavors all nicely incorporated. It's nice, creamy, cheesy, tomatoey pasta. Ooh. So I've dished myself up a nice portion, and now I just want to add some basil. Would you look at this massive basil leaf? Whoa! So this is lettuce basil. I had some in a salad the other day. It's delicious. It tastes just like normal basil. So because it's such a big one, I'm only going to use this one leaf, and then I'm going to just chop it up into smaller ribbon pieces to sprinkle on top. And as far as I'm concerned, that combination of cheese, tomato, and basil is always a winner, for me at least. Ooh, yum. And that's it. We're good to go. Ta-da! Delish lunch served. Time for my favorite part, which is the taste test. I'm going to try it without the basil first, just to get the full flavor of the original. You know what? I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's good. Absolutely, it's good. But it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. There was such a lot of hype around this dish that I thought it was going to be like phenomenal, but it's fine, you know. It's good, it's tasty, but it's not as mind-blowingly delicious as I thought it was going to be, based on just how everyone was like massively hyping this dish up. But you know, it's good, it's okay. I would make some tweaks though to like really get the full flavor out of this dish. I feel like this is the basic, and then there are some things that you can do to really elevate it. So the first thing I would do is, look, tomatoes are quite tart, so I would actually add a drizzle of honey over the tomatoes when they are roasting, just to balance out that sour, acidicness, is that a word? Acidic nature of the tomatoes. And that's something I do quite a bit in my cooking, actually. I often add honey just to get like a nice rounded flavor and bring all the notes of all the different ingredients out. So I would do that first. Then second, I would actually put the tomatoes in first and let them roast a little bit with the flavors, with the honey, with the herbs, all the things. Let those flavors cook in and let the tomatoes get soft first, because there was a moment in the cooking where the feta had reached like its perfect melted point of creaminess, but the tomatoes hadn't cooked properly yet. And I think if it could have come out then, it would have been even creamier, because the feta was just that perfect consistency. But then it cooked too much, so that the tomatoes had time to get soft. So I would whack the tomatoes into the oven first, let them cook down a whole bit, then add the feta in, wait until the feta reached just that right melted consistency, and then take the whole thing out. Stir it all up and it'll be super creamy and delicious. So if you're working with the basic ingredients that they have, those are the first steps that I would include to change this recipe a little bit and just enhance everything that is already there. And then, because this is such a nice basic foundation, it does leave room to add things to change the flavor a little bit. So while I was making this, I actually thought, you know what would be really nice in here is some bacon. So if I were to make this again, above and beyond those first changes that I mentioned, I would actually add some bits of bacon into the whole roasting dish. Like when I put the tomatoes in, I'd add bacon with that as well. I think it would also be nice with some pieces of chicken, but that obviously, those extras is just that, it's an extra, and isn't necessary. And if you're a vegetarian, I think this is perfect just as it is. Just make those few tweaks, I think. If you're vegan, I'm not very clued up on vegan cheese, but you would know best in terms of what would be a good type of vegan cheese to add that would melt down to a nice consistency to make a creamy sauce. And then, you know, just add what you have available to you and what you know works. I don't have any knowledge on that at all. But if you were to do that, then it could be very easily be a vegan dish as well, because other than cheese, all the other ingredients are are plant-based. You've got your tomato, your basil, your herbs, and then for me, my pasta was plant-based as well. So yes, it's good, but it could be better. But I'm starving, so I'm going to finish this off. And you guys, if you make it, let me know what tweaks you've done to this dish to make it just right for you. I'd love to know. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate that you took the time out to join me today. And until next time, bye.